Good evening, everyone. Hopefully you can see and hear me all right. I will just give it a second or so because we have just come up to 6 o'clock. I hope you're all keeping well. And if you are listening in, if you could just pop something in the chat just so I know that you can hear me and see me. Let me know where you are, where you're listening in from. That would be wonderful. And yeah, I'm looking forward to really looking forward to this stitch along. Those of you maybe who aren't on the group on Facebook, Slow Stitching by Hand with Eleanor Grace, which is me, Louise, might not know I've had a bit of a disaster at home with a massive leak this week. So I'm really glad to be getting to the end of the week and having a few days off next week. And that will give me a bit of time to get things in order and also to just sort of get on with the packs that I'm making up for the stitch along. So those who haven't already seen the video I did last week, I'll go over briefly some of the things we talked about then, and otherwise I'll just share a bit of a timeline and show you some bits and bobs, and then we will be getting started officially on the 5th of April. That will be the first video. Hi, Colleen. Oh, lovely. Yes, in New Zealand, in lovely New Zealand. Nice to see you. My gosh, you must have got up early. I'm sorry. I try to do 7 o'clock, but today I'm very, very tired with all that's happened this week. It's the other job and also with the bit of the leak I've had at home. I had to start it a bit earlier, so thank you so much for joining. And hi, Jane. Oh, lovely, from Alberta, Canada. No, lovely to see you. Yeah, do please pop in comments. I will try and keep an eye on them as I go, and I can just give you some little insights into what we're going to be doing. So I know a lot of you will be on the Facebook group, so may have seen some of this, and some of it might not be new to you, but certainly we'll go through a few other bits. We'll have a bit of a timeline for how this is going to go, certainly for the next month or so. Welcome everyone, and yeah, do pop things in the chat, and yeah, it's nice to know that somebody's out there listening. So thank you for joining me. I'm really pleased to see you tonight. It's quite nice weather here. I don't think we're going to have a visit from Ella today. My cat is very tired. She's had a busy day in the garden. We did a bit of gardening today, and she is currently asleep in a box. So that's her choice. I don't put her in there. It's not a prison. She just loves a box. So I had a delivery this week, and she's taken that and gone off to have a snooze. So I think she might not be causing the usual havoc, but you know, I'm sure normal service will be resumed, and she will cause trouble wherever she goes again. So yeah, so just as a bit of an introduction for those who haven't seen the other information that we've put out, I would say if you can, do join the group if you're not already in the Facebook group, Slow Stitching by Hand with Eleanor Grace. Do answer the questions. Just even single word answers will just make me know that you're not a bot, and then we can see your lovely work, and that's the main thing really, is getting inspiration and sharing what we're doing between each other. One thing I will say is that in terms of what we're going to be doing, I would say I'm going to say Japanese inspired, because Sashiko and even to some extent Boro has a number of rules, and much as we will learn about the history and we will learn some of the rules of those practices, and Kanzashi flowers as well, we won't be going into great detail and following it religiously. We will be taking a little bit of license, shall we say, with it, because we want to fit into the slow stitching ethos. And if you were to do a proper job, I'd say, on Sashiko and Boro, it may not be quite as slow stitching friendly as we maybe want it to be. So so we're going to take a bit of license with it, but we are going to learn some of the basics, and we're going to learn and sort of move on from there. So I'm really pleased to have you all along with me. So if for those who haven't already found out about the what we're going to be doing, we are going to be making 3 projects during this 3-month period. So it's April to June. We are, in terms of a timescale, we are going to start on the 5th, which is next Saturday. So I'm going to do a video, which I'm pre-recording because I have a few days off. So the 5th will be starting our first project, and that is going to be some Sashiko inspired bunting. Now, some of you may have seen these already. I hoped to have got a couple more done for today, but with the leak, I haven't been able to. So these are a couple of examples here. Let's see if I can get that one. So this one, I've put a collage of flowers together and then done some sort of Sashiko style stitching. And this one has just some very subtle yellow stitching. You probably can't even really see it very well there. I haven't filled in the whole thing. I haven't decided quite whether I'm going to carry on putting some more in here or over here. But I wanted to keep this one quite simple. So we're going to go through a series of different things and using a series of different fabrics. So if you have ordered a pack, you are going to get quite a lot of bits of fabric. Some of them are small sort of remnants that you're going to cut and make into a collage, and some will be slightly bigger. I'll show you a couple of examples here just to give you an idea. If you're not having a pack, and I do have capacity to make another 3 packs, so if anyone hasn't ordered one and they want one, the first comments on here will be able to order the last 3 packs. They're £11 plus postage, and the most is £4.50 postage, which is Australia, New Zealand, rest of the world, America, Canada, and a bit less for Europe and a bit less again for the UK. So I've got some examples here. These are my lovely. These have come from Japan. I bought them from a lady who goes over regularly, and so there are some beautiful different colours here, but some beautiful Sashiko mainly style fabrics here, and some yellows and all sorts. So everyone will be getting a couple of these who has ordered a pack. And also I've got lots of other lovely bits and bobs. This one's one of my favourites, as you can see. I've chopped a corner there already, but these are some lovely ones with a bit of metallics in them. Some beautiful fabrics. So if you've seen those ones before, apologies, I'll just show you very briefly. I've got this lovely piece which is being chopped up. I know it sounds terrible, but it is. It's being chopped up. And a bit of silk. Got lots of different silks. These 2 lovely fabrics here. 2 of my favourites, that dark plum and the little pink one that I've shown you on the piece I've made before. I've also got some extras here, which I'm just sorting through, some lovely indigos and that lovely cherry blossom sort of one. So yeah, they will all come out, and but I'll give you a little heads up of what you need. If you haven't ordered a pack, I'll give you a heads up as to what you need to have in stock. So a range of fabrics. What I'm going to do is make this bunting, which is our first project. I'm going to make mine double-sided. So what I'm going to do there is make one side sort of spring and summery, and the other side is going to be autumn and wintry. Because the thing I thought about bunting is that, firstly, if it gets in the sun, it'll fade. Secondly, you might get bored of it after a while, and it's quite nice to have a thought about doing a reversible one. You don't have to do seasonal ones. I'm just going to do that because those are the sort of fabrics I've got, and that's, I quite like a seasonal theme. And so it's going to be reversible, so you'll be able to just turn it over for the autumn winter months, or as often as you wish to change things up a bit. Oh, hi. Oh, I'm going to get your name wrong. Marjolein from the Netherlands. Welcome. So what you will also get in the pack, and what you will need as a stock, if you've got it, is some sort of thin-ish sort of fabric. Now I've got a bit of calico. This is a in the pack you'll get one of these as a sort of template, if you like. So what I've done with each of these pieces is I've backed it with the calico. Usually I do felt, but because we're going to do double-sided, it'll be too thick if you use a really thick fabric. Now, calico is nice and cheap. Calico, I mean, you could use linen. I love linen, but I don't know if I'd use linen on a project of this where I've got quite a few of these going along in a strip. I'm going to use calico because it's nice and cheap. This is a sort of light, probably a lightweight is best, possibly middle sort of weight you might get away with, but you will need a bit because obviously you're going to make a few of these. What you will need also, which again you get in the pack if you've ordered one, is about sort of up to 1.5 to 2 meters of a sturdy ribbon. What you want really is something like these, which are my grosgrain ribbons. They've got that sort of ridge on it. They're quite heavyweight in order to hold up the pieces we're going to be putting on, because some of these do weigh more than you would imagine. The one where I've done the collage, it's pretty sturdy, and it's not heavy, but if you do several of those, it's going to weigh a little bit. So you want about up to 2 meters of something like a grosgrain ribbon. I probably will have some of this left over after I've done the packs. I bought a bit too much, I think, which I may be able to let you have in the Etsy shop. And I also may have a few bits left over from chopping up nice little bits of silk and things like that, which I will also put in my Etsy shop if you want to have a look there. We've got a couple of... Oh, hi, Marianne from Oregon. Nice to see you. And Carol from South Carolina. Lovely. Well, thank you. Thanks for joining and for putting a comment in. It's nice to know that you're out there. So thank you very much for joining me. In terms of what you need for fabrics, if you haven't got the money, or you don't want to go out and buy a whole load of new things, and you don't necessarily have anything sort of Japanesey, it doesn't matter. If you don't have anything Oriental that's suitable, what you can do is use anything, use any scraps that you like. The main thing is the stitching is going to be obviously based on Sashiko and Boro. And I just wanted to say, I've heard people say Sashiko in different ways. I heard an interview with a Japanese chap who was talking about his business, and I always thought it was Sashiko. But he said, no, it's Sashiko. It's all quite flat. You don't say it with any intonation. So I'm using that. So apologies if I'm wrong, if anyone's listening. And hi from Angel Song from Alabama. Lovely. Well, we've got a mix all over the world here, which is lovely. So what you're going to need is I would say up to a couple of meters of a decent sort of quality ribbon. And this one is... Oh, this is in inches, which I don't usually work in. I usually work in centimeters. This is 3/4 inch, and it is a grosgrain, which is quite sturdy ribbon. And I got this sort of soft nude pink and a white one. So I may have some of those left over. In the packs, you don't need to have this if you're just making up your own packs. What I'm going to add in the packs is a little bit of Sashiko thread, a few meters of this, just to try it really. I mean, you don't necessarily have to use it for this project, those of you that have ordered a pack, but it's just for you to have a bit of fun playing with, to have a practice maybe, and see how it works. I'm going to try it as well, so we will see. Yeah, we will see how we get on with that. But you can use any threads that you like. I always love, as you know, I love my cotton perlé 8 and my cotton perlé 12. those are always my go-to for stitching. With Sashiko, it's only ever stitched with one thread usually. You don't usually have like 2 or 3 strands like you would with embroidery floss. But if that's what you've got, use what you've got. Don't go mad trying to get extra things. So I'm going to try a bit of a mixture. I'm going to try a bit of Sashiko thread, and I'm also going to use my cotton pearly. Hi, Bryony. Yeah, hiding from the rain. Oh, bless you. We're dry today, which is quite nice. Yeah, up in Cumbria. Oh, yes, indeedy. Yeah. Oh, it's been a bit of a funny spring for us here. Well, in the West Country, in the UK, in England, it's been really mild, and it's been started to get really warm, which is last year we didn't have spring at all. We just had rain the whole time, so we're not quite used to it. That's why Ella's tired. She's been out in the garden all day. So yeah, so that is our first project. So all I would say is if you've got anything nice, or if you go to a charity shop or a thrift shop or whatever, and you manage to get a few pieces that you can use, that's great. You know, if money's tight, use what you've got. Have a thin fabric as backing. Calico is usually quite cheap if you needed to get something, which is why I've used it here. It's quite cheap, and it's fairly thin. It's not too thick. But yeah, use what you've got. But as I say, the packs will have a nice mixture of snippets and some larger pieces as well, which we'll be able to use. The next thing we're going to be doing after that, just checking actually, let me just check I've told you everything you need for the oh yes, the other things we're going to make. So the next thing we're going to make is Kanzashi flowers. Now, rather stupidly, I think I've left them up there. You just have to bear with me 1 second, and I will grab them. I usually have to hide them from Ella, because not only does she love helping, I call it helping, I'll put it in inverted commas. Not only does she like helping, but she likes boxes, and this is my box of Kanzashi flowers. So I'll show you a few of those. We're going to make a range of these. Those of you that have ordered a pack will get an extra video with the pack. So as I said, there's I think I've got space to make another 3 if anyone wants one, and I can talk you through that if needed. So this is made, this is an example here. You want to get together some of your beads. Now these won't be in the pack. Pearls, beads, anything that you've got that you can put in the middle. You want to get hold of some things that will go with what you've got. Now I would recommend, if you can, get something like silk dupion, which this is, which you can fashion. It's quite stiff, and you need something quite stiff for these flowers. If you get something too soft and floppy, they'll go everywhere. Oh, hi Ginny. Oh, bonsoir from La France. Yeah, this is silk dupion, or alternately, if you've got something, you know, something like a sort of dressmaking fabric that's stiff, like I did these in taffeta. This is actually, it's not quite coming out color wise. This is the brightest pink. It's like a shocking pink. It's not really coming out because I've got the curtains pulled and the light's gone here now. So in the middle, I've got there some, these are, I think these ones are Swarovski, but I have also got, again, they're not coming in the packs. They're just things that I had to use up. You know, any sort of little sparkly things that you've got in your stash, keep those for the middle of these Kanzashi flowers. So these are going to be, yeah, these are going to be lovely. So in the packs, there will be some silk dupion for you to make that. And there will also, there's another one, a nice grey one. There will also be another video which you get with the pack. We're also going to be making these Kanzashi flowers. Now, let me get a couple of these to show you. These. Again, the colours are all washed out. That's a lovely buttery sort of yellow. That's obviously a white one. You can't really see the centre there, but some little pearls in there. And here I've sewn in the tiniest little beads. Don't know if you can even see those. And this is made from ribbon. So this is made from, well, I've got a series of colours of ribbon here. And for some reason, my mind always goes blank when I try to tell you what the fabric is called. If anyone knows, it's very, very fine. I will get it. My brain is just given out. Organza ribbon. Yeah, so fiddly, but aren't they just so lovely? These are really lovely to put on to your projects. You know, I put these sometimes when I make a journal cover. I will attach one of these. It just really gives it a 3D boost. So yeah, these are lovely, and you can make them into all sorts of things. I have made them into little hair to go in there. Very pretty. So they've all got all sorts of uses you can use those for. And again, you may want to get yourself some little, if you've got any stores of tiny beads, any stores of you know, little tiny pearls. These ones are little diddy little pearls. Then you know, those will always be useful in these flowers. So I'll teach you about the history of Kanzashi and what it means in terms of Kanzashi flowers, and we will make those two types, and then there will be a third type which I'm not going to unveil yet, but that is going to be solely for those that have ordered a pack, and you'll get a video separate to that. So in terms of the timeline, we are obviously looking at starting on Saturday. So I will record a video that will come out about this time on Saturday the 5th. We will then have the next one on the 12th, which is fine. So 2 weeks in a row. Then it's Easter. So I am going to take Easter weekend off. What I will probably do is just record a little general video with some more stitches. I did a little workshop at a stitch festival I went to at the weekend, and I learned a couple of interesting little 3D stitches. So I will probably do a video of that to be released over Easter for you, so you've got something. But we'll have that Easter weekend will be a little bit of a break. And then on the 27th, which is a Sunday, the 27th, I will go live again on that Sunday, and we'll have a look at where we are, and I can start telling you about the next part of the process. So I'm planning that the bunting will probably take April and probably a bit into May. The Kanzashi flowers will be fairly quick. We'll do a couple of weeks on that probably. And then we're going to go on to our third piece. So our third piece is around Boro. In very basic terms, Sashiko and Boro are intertwined and are part of each other, really. Boro or boromono means to patch or to repair, and so Boro was tended to be very basic stitching, only on indigo for those in the north of Japan who were quite poor. They weren't allowed to wear lots of fancy colours. There were certain colours that remained only the sort of premise of the ruling classes, and they could only have indigo, which is why Sashiko as well is often on indigo. So Sashiko might have been used more for those who were showing off a visible mending. So they're showing off the beautiful patterns and so on. For those who had the money and who had the fabrics to do that. Boro is more invisible mending, so it is literally patching things together to keep them from breaking down, because you didn't have the money to replace what you had. So I did this piece at a workshop many years ago, and I always thought about it, and it when I started doing videos, it was something I thought I must do at some point. And so this is the piece that I did from there. I do keeping the stitching very simple, adding in a little bit. So I'd say Boro inspired. We probably go a little bit more into Sashiko territory. But those of you ordering the packs will have some scraps, which will, you'll be able to mix up with that which you've got in your stores and to make up a little pattern. So this has got a lot more colour than a piece of Boro would normally have. But we're going to, as I say, we're going to be inspired by rather than following it slavishly. So we're going to keep the stitching quite simple, but we're going to try some little techniques. And over the 3 months, I imagine we'll probably finish this about mid-June, something like that. We will hopefully have 3 really nice projects. You'll have a little Boro sampler, so you can test out, you can, maybe do a little bit of dyeing as well with, tea bags and rust and things like that to make your pieces look sort of worn. We can try all sorts of things. So I'm hoping that sounds like a good project for us to have the 3 things. So we will have the bunting, we'll have the Kanzashi flowers, and then we'll have the Boro sampler as part of this Japanese inspired stitch along that we're doing. So I hope that sounds good. Let me know what you think in the comments if you want. And as I say, for those who've ordered a pack, I've got a few days off now. I won't be around for the next 2 or 3 days, but I am intending to get those packs out next week and probably into early the week after for those who've ordered at the last minute. Yeah, you'll have some nice bits, but everyone just use what you've got. If you manage to get a bit of silk or a bit of something fancy, save it, but start having a think about what you've got in your stash. We can all use up a lot of what we've got in our stash, and think about maybe if you want to do a color scheme, maybe if you want to just keep it simple, or if you want to do like me, we're going to do double-sided bunting. So do you want a set of colours on the front and a set of colours on the back? It's up to you. But I hope that sounds good. And what I will do is I will put a note on the group, and I will also try to put a note on the community here for those who haven't got Facebook, to give you an idea of what you'll need for the stitch along. So as I say, I'll remind myself again, get some calico if you can, or get some thin sort of weight fabric, which you're going to need for backing. Get yourself any threads that you like. I'm using a bit of Sashiko thread, but also I'm just going to use what I've got. And thank you, Colleen. Thank you. Japanese oriental fabrics, if you've got them, or if you're ordering the pack, that's fine. You'll get all of this. Scraps. So if you've got scraps, especially sort of flower, this, I don't know if you can see through the stitching, but these are all flowers cut out from different oriental fabrics. So it looks like it's all one piece, or more or less looks like it's all one piece, but I have literally pinned those on and then just stitched over them. And so yeah, if you've got anything that you want to cut out, whether it's floral or something, start getting into your stash and getting some bits out. So again, you want some scraps for the Boro sampler. So you want to maybe think about, if you're used to doing a bit of tea staining or whatever, maybe you want to do a bit of that, like so it look a bit like this. If you wanted to, try a bit of that. I'm also I've bought some stamps. I haven't got them here, so I will have to do a separate thing about that. I've got some I bought some Indian block stamps. They're fair trade as well, which I love. They give them a proper living wage to create these beautiful stamps, and I'm going to be stamping some of the fabric I send out with fabric paint, which is also fair trade, which is very important to me. You could even give a go of bashing some leaves onto fabric, as they have done here. But we'll have some fun with it. We'll enjoy ourselves. We'll use up what we've got, and as I say, I might have some fabrics left over. I think I may do, because I've managed to procure some more, as you can see, and I might have some on my Etsy shop. So I'll put a link onto my Etsy shop. I can never remember what the name of my Etsy shop is, so I'm just going to have a look. I think it is Eleanor Grace UK. I'm pretty sure it's Eleanor Grace UK with a capital E, capital G. Yeah, Eleanor Grace UK, all one word. If you haven't looked there, I will have some bits going on there in the next couple of weeks. So if you didn't want a full pack, you've got the ribbon, you've got, bits of fabric, but you might want a bit of silk, or you might want a bit of something fancy. I will put some little bits on there. And also silk dupion. If you haven't got silk dupion, any fabric like taffeta or anything that you can get that's a bit stiff to make these Kanzashi flowers, you don't want it being floppy. This is, you have to mold it almost into shape, if you know what I mean. So some silk dupion. I probably will have a bit of silk dupion left over as well. So if I do, I'll let you have. I did buy some more at the Stitch Festival on Sunday. It was a bit naughty because I have got lots, but it's lovely. It's nice to work with. In the thing to say about the silk dupion is that it sheds like anything. It falls apart as you stitch. And initially, I used to be a real perfectionist, and I still am to some extent, but I try to put it aside for the sake of slow stitching. And you will find when you make the Kanzashi flowers, I don't know if you can see in the middle of this one, it's by no means perfect. There's shedding going on all around the edge there, but that's fine, because if you actually just look at it as it is, you wouldn't notice that, and actually that's part of the beauty of it. So we're going to put aside perfection, because that is not a requirement here. So any bits you've got, any little pearls, anything like that, if you've got, or you can go to a charity shop or a thrift store or something, and get little beads or little pearls. That is, that will all help. But use what you got, and I'm sure we'll have great fun with this. And thank you all for joining me. I'm just going to check my list, because my brain is not working very well today. Want to make sure that I've told you everything that I needed to. Yes, that's fine. So generally, as I say, I'm going to use cotton perlé, because that's what I use most of the time anyway. But I might also dip into a bit of Sashiko thread. And if you've got embroidery floss and that's what you are used to using, you can use that. It's fine. But for Boro and Sashiko, it's usually only a single thread, but with embroidery floss it would be too thin. And also it might not have the tensile strength to do the sort of long row of stitching, but we will work with what we've got, and we will try it, and we will see if it works. So I will get some embroidery floss out as well and try it. But thank you everyone for joining me, and I really hope you enjoy this. It's something I'm really actually quite excited about. I'm always excited about stitching. I mean, that's why I'm here. But I'm really excited about this one, because I love the look of Oriental fabrics. I'm a big fan of artists like Hokusai with their beautiful paintings. So things like that. I mean, I just think that's a beautiful piece of fabric. So I'm sure we will enjoy ourselves and see how we get along. So if you're not already in the group, in the Facebook Slow Stitching by Hand with Eleanor Grace, just answer the questions. They're very simple. It's just wanting to know that you are who you say you are, really, and we'll be able to share our work and enjoy what we've been making. So thank you, everyone. It's lovely to see you all from wherever you are in the world, whatever time it is in the world. I'll say good night from here. It's good morning to those of you on the other side of the world, or good afternoon, possibly. Yeah, I will see you again soon. And thank you very much for joining me. Bye.